Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, bans announced but appeals will be heard. New Zealand Warriors delay in home comforts, and the Broncos star takes agents to court. So it was announced over the last day or so that there will be numerous bans after week 1 of Super League for Super League players due to the clampdown in high tackles. We have the RFL list with us, and we'll quickly go through them as there has been some repercussions for a couple of teams. So looking at the list, Dylan Napper and Gil Dudson are both banned, but referred to tribunal for their strong cases, possibly appeals as well with it. Albert Vete has got a 2-match ban and has been cautioned over contrary behaviour. We saw James Bentley, Ben Curry, Brad Dwyer and Oliver Holmes all involved in incidents where Ben Curry has been let off but others have received match bans. And also the Wakefield Trinity versus Hull FC game, there was 4 bans as well issued out. Well, 3 bans issued out and 1 warning. Jacob Miller's contact with the referee was the only one let off. And also Toulouse Olympic have had Joseph Paolo cited for a grade A dangerous contact, but no penalty match notice on that. But after the excellent game between Leeds and Warrington, where Warrington came out the victors on Saturday early afternoon, it has been announced that Warrington and Leeds are both going to appeal bans against Warrington's Oliver Holmes and Leeds' James Bentley. Bentley received a 3-match ban due to the incident that saw him seen red against Warrington in the opening Saturday Super League game, and Holmes was sin-binned, but later received a 1-match ban due to contact with a head as well. This was confirmed by the online magazine series about Rugby League after they contacted the RFL spokesman who confirmed the details about the appeals, and it was also verified by the Warrington Guardian, who will see Warrington, the RFL spokesman confirmed the Wire had lodged an appeal which will be heard at an Operations Rules Tribunal last evening. The results of that are yet to come out. As a result of the hearing, Holmes' charge could be downgraded to allow him to face former club Castleford Tigers on Thursday, but the ban also could be extended if it is deemed that the appeal is frivolous. No comment has come from Leeds in regards to the appeal, but like Warrington, if James Bentley's appeal is not successful, it can be extended as well. Seeing that the referee gave an explanation on the pitch why the 2 instances are different, there might be a better case for Holmes than Bentley. If the report is correct that it is a closed fist swinging arm, and the referee Chris Kendall has put that report in, it could be extended. I think with the Leeds one, they need to calm it down a little with James Bentley and let the appeal not go ahead, because there are been previous instances over the last 18 months which are normally taken in account by the RFL due to behaviour standards that could see James Bentley's appeal be denied and extended. That's the one to look at. So it's bad news for the New Zealand Warriors, and this has caused the CEO of the Warriors to take a swipe at the country's government after they have been forced to cancel their planned Mount Smart Stadium homecoming match against the defending NRL premiers, the Penrith Panthers, on Saturday the 18th of June. The clash was scheduled to be the club's first game at home for 1,023 days, with the players being based in Australia for the past 2 seasons. But Cameron George, the CEO of the New Zealand Warriors, said last week's announcement on phased reopenings of New Zealand's borders have scuttled all hopes of a return in June. We remain desperate to bring the team home and play at Mount Smart, but it's impossible to do so in June with the obstacles this government has put into place, George said. All we can do is work with the facts, and the fact is it's impossible to expect NRL teams to isolate for 7 days after arriving in New Zealand. Penrith, for example, plays the previous Sunday, so it can't even do the 7 days before our game. George says the lack of certainty from the government has been frustrating and that more could have been done to get the sport up and running in the country again. What the current government needs to address is creating corridors for sports and businesses to come and go and in and out of New Zealand for the purposes of providing either an injection into the economy in the business sense or providing content for the community to enjoy. There are so many ways they could achieve that, but by simply having a blanket approach for sports teams or people who need to conduct businesses or business activities either side of the Tasman, it isn't going to work under the current circumstances. I feel for rugby, I feel for soccer, I feel for basketball and everyone in New Zealand trying to get the sport going again. These border restrictions provide us with more challenges day in, day out, month in, month out, and as it stands now, year in, year out. We've been away 3 years, enough is enough. We need to bring the Warriors back. We need to bring our fans back. Mr. George has said that he has been told the government won't give any exemptions for sports teams to come to New Zealand without going through an isolation period, which annoys Mr. George a little bit. Sports New Zealand have been outstanding in what they are trying to achieve on the behalf of the sports itself. He said but the government has made the call. They make their public announcements. No one has reached out to us, knowing we've been away for 3 years and trying to get back. I understand their position on protecting the community. We don't want to jeopardise that at all. But at the same time, if you want the country to get going, sports helps that. It generates a well-being physically and mentally. We're walking around here like normal and you're sitting under a red light. Under a red light, you can only get 100 people to a game, so we don't even know what that looks like. Mr. George, it remains hopeful, however, that the Warriors will still play at Mount Smart Stadium this season, with 4 games scheduled for the venue against West Tigers on July the 3rd, Melbourne Storm on July the 29th, Canterbury Bulldogs August 12th, and the Gold Coast Titans on September the 3rd. The club will be in touch with all rollover and 5-game members in due course with information on what this cancellation means for their 2022 and 2023 entitlements. And finally, we talk about court cases. This time not a player in trouble, as Payne Haas is heading towards the Australian Supreme Court in a decision to sue his former agents for what he feels are conflicts of interests and other accusations at this point. But in a sporting point of view, the court documents that have been supplied have raised questions whether the New South Wales and Australian prop has been paid his market worth during his time at the Brisbane Broncos. His contract details have been laid bare in documents as he seeks to recover all his agent fees he paid to his former manager Chris Orr, as a bitter dispute with the player and agent heads to court in Australia. Haas's worth is an interesting part of the dispute with Orr, but not the focus. In a report in WA Today by Dan Wielder, it is said that Haas is claiming Orr had a conflict of interest and that he did not follow the rules agents are bound by. Documents filed with the Supreme Court during the week makes for interesting reading when it comes to Haas's career payments. Orr himself is yet to file his defence and did not respond to any requests by Wiedler on Saturday. Through his lawyer, Abdullah Reslan, Haas has given notice to the Broncos that he's no longer managed by Chris Orr or Pacific Sports Management, and is seeking to have 2 previous contracts he had with the management group rescinded. Haas is pursuing an order for an account of the profits and, alternatively, equitable damages against Orr plus interest and legal costs. The fees Haas is pursuing relates to contracts signed with the Broncos. The amounts the New South Wales prop signed on are as follows: 2017, $85,000, 218,000, take two, 2018, 110,000, 2019, 250,000, 2020, 448,000, 2021, 548,000, with this year 2022 at 748,000. There's also contracted for 2 more big bumper pay years, with 2023 has 798,000, while 2024 has 448,000 contracted. Given that Haas played for Australia in 2019 and the Blues between 2019 and 2021, and given his standing as one of the premier props in the game, he believes that there is not a club in the NRL that wouldn't happily pay him $1,000 a season. $1 million a season. Keep in mind he's also the 22-year-old giant who has won a historic 3rd consecutive Paul Morgan medal as a Broncos Player of the Year in September. Of market value, it appears he will have been undervalued by about 1.5 million Australian dollars by the time his current deal expires in 2024. Haas has also questioned the timing of contracts he's signed with Orr's company, Pacific Sports Management, as Haas first reached an agreement with Orr after he played with the Australian Schoolboys back in 2016, and also Orr emailed the Broncos and the Eels with images of the rising star, stating with his stats, "We are now in a position to discuss Payne's future." The Eels responded with a request to host Payne as the footy and indicated they are wanting to begin negotiations immediately. The email was sent on the July 18th, 2016, and Haas's new management agreement did not begin until the following day, July the 19th, 2016. A flat fee in previous management agreements was replaced in a new agreement with a 7% fee, which resulted in an increase in agent fees received to Orr. It is also claimed in the court documents that Haas' most recent management agreement was reached 2 days before the rules were changed to allow players to cancel a management contract with 3 months' notice, even though the existing deal had more than 6 months to run. Haas will rely on the fact that agents have the fiduciary duty to act in their client's best interest. Orr was better off as an agent under the old rules, while Haas was better off as a player under the new rules, or needed to supply the information to Haas about how the new player management scheme would benefit him. Instead, Haas alleges or did not inform him about the new scheme starting at that time, and made sure the new rules for the management deals struck after November 2018, which would not apply to Haas's until late 2024. On November 2018, 29th of November to be precise, or signed Haas to a 6-year management deal under the old rules, 2 days before the new rules came into effect. So make of that as you will. It's a bit confusing, a bit convoluted, and please go give the clip to Dan Keedler on Western Australia Today, because it's his story that I've been following. It's interesting to see the scope that agents have in Australia, because it seems like that they have the same scope as football agents in the UK, as they can both represent the club and, under the old rules, and the player in negotiations if there's no agent with the player that's signing. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it's going to be a long-running one, but if he wins, he gets 1.5 million SANS, potentially, plus his legal fees are paid for, and also the court costs. It'll be interesting to watch, because it will change the agent's rules once again, I think, through litigation. So that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates that might be coming your way. So tell me what you think of today's episode. Do you think Payne Haas will be successful in his court case? What about the other 2 stories that we had today? The appeals, will they go through for Oliver Holmes and James Bentley? Or do you agree with me that Bentley's will be a bit... No, it won't happen. But never say never in these instances. It is Rugby League, for goodness sake. And finally, New Zealand Warriors can't go home until July at the earliest at this point. It's a bit disappointing. Things may change, we never know. There may be a sudden downturn in cases in New Zealand, but we never know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. But in the meantime, stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.